We're probably live. Maybe three,
Robot and
two,
the bear.
one.
Robot and the bear. Robot and the bear.
With the mint.
All right. So with all this, like, I keep creating excuses for myself with, like, it being on Zoom and just me, like, not, like, I just can't get as goofy, as
I think it's the same to me. Yeah. I don't think anything has changed, but that's kind of like what I feel. I feel like we've earned that with all of how many podcasts do we do like together that are in person? So many. I feel like we've earned the right to even do this and still be okay.
But
it makes a difference.
It's not, Eric, it's not about, being okay. It's about, as a podcast, it's about how I feel inside.
Oh, but for me, I feel just as connected this way, believe it or not.
Wow.
I do. I'm like, I don't know.
Eric,
I feel
that is why you will always be the robot.
Okay, because I feel just as connected this way. I don't feel like we need, the bear needs in-person hug it out time. I got it.
I do.
I got
like,
it.
Roar,
So, what about you, Maggie? Like, how do you feel about like when you're streaming and versus in-person meetings and whatnot?
I think in person's easier.
Yeah.
2-1, Eric. 2-1.
Wow. You mean in person? Like, if you have a meeting with an art director, you try to meet in person versus this, like doing a Zoom thing.
Sounds tough. I think because just with streaming, it's tough because you're just talking to a monitor and like to text, right? Because people are chatting.
Yeah.
So it feels weird to not hear their voice and only hear your voice.
But you have the control.
That's true.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you can silence people. But here you have the full control. But anyways, welcome to the stream. This is Robot and the Bear, number 69 with Maggie Chiang.
I was gonna ask, did we hit that number?
We did. We did just now. It's a big 69.
Yeah, it's all very coincidental. So, but congratulations, Maggie. You got, one of those weird numbers that we as modern human beings find
very, very funny.
Yeah.
And get very excited by.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so dumb, but yeah.
It's so dumb.
Robot and the Bear 69 featuring Maggie Chiang, who has a show right now at Giant Robot, and also has a funny, like, Instagram name,
We got the robot, we got the bear, and then we got a mint.
Robot and the bear and
a mint.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to cover today, But
oh man.
So you came out a couple weeks ago for the opening of the show. How was it for you? It was like one of the first, like, kind of closest to an actual opening that I've been to, like, in over a year.
Why is that? I feel like we've done a bunch of other ones actually.
Well, okay, maybe
the last one too, and the one before that, and the one before that.
Maybe, yeah, I guess you're right. No, I was maybe I was thinking of something else, but like, no,
okay.
it felt like, there was like when I showed up, there was a line going out the door, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'll just wait outside for a while. I can play my game, until the line goes away. But like, there was a nice turnout.
Yeah, I was surprised. I really didn't know what to expect because we're in a pandemic.
Wait, but this is Giant Robot. It's a pandemic, but it's Giant Robot.
It's Giant Robot, but it's me.
It's Giant Robot. Yeah, and you. It's Giant Robot.
No, but it's like, who am I?
Of course, it'll be all right. We'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? I think anyway. At least I hope so. So, I kind of I wasn't worried, but you were more worried. But
I was very worried.
Now, there's a beautiful art show at GR2. It's called what's it called? Fantastic Fruits?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, Forbidden Fruit? No, it's Fantastic Fruits.
Yeah.
And it's an art show that actually there is fruit in each one of the pieces, which believe it or not, the whole time I was kind of like, why is it called this? Why is it called this? I realized, oh yeah, there is fruit in here.
Yeah.
The most obvious thing I missed. I was just like, oh. Anyway.
Yeah, I
Very
didn't.
cool.
I just wanted like a fun name. I feel like the previous show was such a serious name.
What was the name of your previous show?
Like Wistful Dreams, Porcelain Memories.
Yeah. Wistful
Ooh.
Dreams, porcelain memories.
So this time, like, let's just make something more fun, more lighthearted, fantastic fruits. And I wanted to do alliteration, so all the titles were alliterations. So
What's
like,
what do you mean?
like the first letter of the word is the same, right? So fantastic fruit, FF. Or there's like
Yeah,
apple piece,
yeah.
it's like adoring apple.
That's the names of the pieces. Some of them have those alliterations and kind of nice.
Mhm.
That's so English 101, alliteration.
Yeah,
So many words.
you
Anyways,
totally
okay.
like went over my head. Like I
No, I'm
was
playing.
not good at like English. you
Oh, me
know?
neither. But I just remember alliteration. Like, oh, that's the easy one to remember. And that's all I knew.
So what are you drinking first off? So so just so you guys know at home, McMinty also, that's Maggie, also has a second Instagram that's McMilkTeas,
Mhm.
TEAS. So you are also a maker of fine beverages that have tea in it. But what are you drinking now?
So this one actually has no tea, but I marinated some lemons in honey and just sparkling water.
Wow.
Very simple. It's a
That's
little late.
refreshing.
I don't want to drink caffeine this late, you know?
Yeah, but you make some of these beautiful drinks and they're mixed up and there's in slow motion so you could see the matcha just, it's like swirling into a colorful syrup, I guess you would say. Anyways, very nice.
Thank you.
Well, let's start with the art and then let's get into the mixology. Would you call that mixology? Like, because mixology obviously implies like alcohol in my eyes, but
Right. I just call it like home cafe, but I don't know. I know what you're saying. I don't know the word for it.
But
home cafe.
Home cafe.
So, has anything? How is your fantastic fruits kind of like? Would you say the work has like philosophically or theoretically changed, especially in these, like since it was created probably during the entire pandemic, compared to say the Porcelain Dreams show at all?
I think so. I feel like, as an artist in the beginning, like you don't really know what you're doing. You're just making work. Or I don't know. I feel like you really know what you're doing, and I'm still figure it out.
No, I'm totally fucking winging most of it. Like,
okay. Yeah, exactly that. Where it just feels like you're winging it. It's like you have an interest in something, and you kind of just draw it because you're like, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, but I feel like this show, it's like starting to be a little, it gets, what's the word? It feels more personal. Yeah, more focused, and it's starting to become more personal.
How personal in what way?
I think I'm starting to realize like why I like certain things or why I'm drawn towards certain things. Like I always draw a tiger, and I told Eric I think it's because like I have 2 tigers in my family, so not literally, but like my dad and my grandma are both tigers.
Like whatchamacallit? Astrologically, like is that
like a Chinese zodiac?
I see.
And also there was a piece that has a peacock, and you told us you mentioned why, because there's one, I think the last 2 shows you've had a peacock in the show, which is kind of like I wouldn't think that's not the go-to animal for an artist, right? No artist goes, I'm gonna paint a peacock.
I gotta
like,
pick that peacock.
I just want to make my life difficult.
Yeah, I know, right? Those damn feathers. No, but it's just where I'm from. There's technically wild peacocks that roam.
Those are horrible sounding animals. Do you know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're terrible.
Like I remember the only time, the one time I noticed how terrible peacocks sound was at the Huntington Park. And like there's peacocks all over the place, and like when they squawk, it's like you see these beautiful birds, and you're expecting like something equally as like harmonic and beautiful coming out from their elegant necks, and it is ugly.
Not cute. I know what you mean.
You know. But so something that you said earlier kind of piqued my interest, and that was that you felt like with this show you wanted to do something a little bit more playful and lighthearted, and in the title of the show, and even the titling that extended into the titling of the paintings. But like like this was all created during the pandemic. Did you feel that like some of the artwork you created for the show was maybe even potentially escapist from the cold, harsh, and ugly reality that we were living in? or
Yeah, this is exactly it. It's like we've been dealing with this pandemic, and I was thinking, okay, we've had enough serious things. We've dealt with enough serious things for a year straight. Why not do something more fun, like the opposite of what we've all been dealing with?
Mm. There was one painting, it is probably my favorite painting from your show. It was the middle piece, and on the back wall, where it seemed like you had like spent all this time like rendering it, because your work, for those who aren't familiar, is very illustrative, and it has a lot of like like how to describe it. It's graphic in the sense that it's got a lot of like you do a lot of plants and very delicate line work and stuff, and you could see that like that's how that painting was started, but like by the end suddenly you just kind of went in with like the red and just went and just painted over half of it, and then and it's raw and it's like gritty, and it's got all this like like you can feel the brush in it, and then you like drop a black like an eclipse kind of like shape right over it, to kind of contrast the chaos and the chaos of all that. Like, please tell me that was the last painting that you worked on for this show, and it was like this, and I'm kind of curious like how that kind of happened. Like when it's obvious that you started in one direction and ended in another.
Right. So it started off like the other paintings where I had painted all these fruits, and it looked like the other paintings. Except there's like, I wanted to make it like a grafted tree because I just learned about those. So it would just be like a bunch of fruits in this one painting. But over time, I was just getting really frustrated. And it's funny that you say that because it is the last painting that I worked on. It's the last one that I was like waiting for it to dry so I can immediately drive it to the framers and then get it ready for pickup right before the show. Yeah, I told Eric, I think, let me think. I just wanted to create a piece that was intuitive. I was tired of like everything feeling so planned out, so like precise. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a piece I feel like I could explore more. Like paint to just paint and not feel like I'm painting.
I felt like it was perhaps the most narratively dark painting of the show, which is probably the reason why I gravitated toward it. But there was, it was, like it had a lot of Maggie Chiang-ish kind of elements, but then it, kind of suddenly just shoots left, like at the very end, and it in my eyes it was probably your most emotive piece to me, and but anyways,
I like that one too. Why would you say you hope it's the last one, Luke?
Because like I feel like for me, like seeing it, when I see it, I like you see everything that was created around it, and it all kind of like it feels like to me it all culminates to suddenly this moment where like you kind of like just, let go of your own, like your strict aesthetic, and, just kind of like, just like, have a constructive, deconstructive moment, with your work. And, like, it would be kind of weird in my eyes to like and it's also the biggest painting of the show from what I remember. And
It's among the big ones. It's the same size. I think all the big ones are the same size.
right, okay.
It just looks bigger because the way it's placed, I think.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, and then like, to kind of like after that like intense moment where you take a brush over hours and hours of work, and have this moment, and then just kind of retreat back to like, the normal, like it's just it would be so much more, exciting if that's how like it accumulates, crests to that moment, rather than like, like, and I had this moment and now I'm back to like, doing my, more classic, very tight, very composed, very, like strict painting style. I think that's the reason why I wanted to.
Yeah, I hear you, man. For me, it's because I know what are the next works going to be. If you ended on this, what are the next ones going to be? Is kind of how I see it.
Right.
If that was your first one, I'd be like, okay, so you ended with these, so there's gonna be more of these probably. But since you ended with that one with this wash over it, this red paint, I'm so curious. What's next? That's your last one. What are the next ones gonna be? So, here's a book idea someday, Luke, for somebody. Artist's last piece of shows, the last piece, and it's just a collection of everyone's last piece that they made, right? And then you'd have to have a text like as to what that led to, or what became of that. Like, why did it end? Why did it become that last piece? Pretty good idea.
I think it depends on how you
Thank
work,
you.
right?
$1 million check to Eric Nakamura. Luke Chu, you can have that too. And Maggie. Write a check to all three. We'll split it 3 ways. It will be called like The Last Piece will be the name of the show. Or it'll be the name of the book. It'll have a touring museum show around the world. And we'll sell 1 million books and we'll split the money. Okay, thanks. Okay, anyway.
We'll call it Finn. Fin,
Yeah, there you go. See. Anyway, okay, sorry.
I am surprised that is your final piece, simply because it is like one of the large paintings, and like I think I'm not sure about your process, Maggie, but I always imagine that like a lot of artists would like when kind of creating works for something like a solo show would like start off with the most ambitious paintings, like or the biggest paintings, and then kind of like work on those, and then kind of end it with what would be the smaller pieces, the ones that can be like executed the quickest because you're on deadline. But that's not how it worked out for you.
No. This piece was the most frustrating for sure. Yeah, like it was literally down to last minute to finish that piece and wait for it to dry. I literally had it finished like the morning, like few hours before I was gonna drive to the framers.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, you made it.
But I made it and it dried. Oh, thank goodness.
So there's always I mean, I think we've asked this a bunch of times, and everyone's going to ask it if they don't know your work. But there's a character, one person in every one of the pieces. Who is that? What are they doing?
Right. I always felt like it was me placing myself in these environments or these pieces. But then I also like the idea that it's another person, the person viewing the piece, and they are putting themselves in that position. I don't actually know. I don't know.
Well, what are they doing? They're kind of like sometimes looking, sometimes sitting. Sometimes they're interacting with it too, right? Like the one with butterflies is on a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then sometimes they're just like dreaming or something. I'm not quite sure if they're always doing the same things, or are they always very different?
Yeah, definitely. they're definitely pondering or daydreaming. Because
Hmm.
I would say I'm a daydreamer. I zone out sometimes.
How long did it take for you to put the show together?
Definitely since Eric reached out to me to do the show, so about a year.
Mm,
But during like the pandemic, like in the middle, I just kind of stopped working on it because I don't know. You know how it is as an artist. It's just you don't always have it, right? You don't always have it in you to be
sure.
creating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it was like down to like 2 months before the show. I was like, okay, I have to finish everything this time.
I think that the pandemic definitely kind of brought this air of uncertainty
Mhm.
about everything to like the world probably,
Yeah.
and like are galleries even going to be showing? Eric, as a gallerist, I'm sure you had plenty of moments across 2020 where it's just kind of like artists are kind of dropping out, because you know
Not really. A
really.
little bit here and there, but not really. I, for the
Oh.
most part, had almost every show happen as planned. Maybe those one or two shows that dropped out that I replaced it with something else,
Mhm.
a group show. But for the most part, it was pretty close. Like I would say, like there's been what maybe 15 shows from then or more,
Mhm.
and I think 12 of the 15 were probably right on schedule. And like the posted show changed form, we couldn't do that. But and then one or two dropped out because they really wanted to come, just stuff like that, right? But for the most part, it was pretty close.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, it's hard to. I mean, maybe it's just I'm in the right space for that, like the
Mhm.
right size. If it were a bigger space, maybe not. There's
Mm.
like imagine if somebody's making oil paintings, which are even slower to make, and maybe they're all only giant ones, and it's meant to go in this giant space, and then this person maybe gets sick or knows somebody who gets sick or whatever it is, and they
Mhm.
just definitely can't execute like what they were going to because of the time. It's possible,
Right.
But for mine, seems like people were able to pull it off. So
Mhm.
it's smaller space. Maybe that's why. Yeah,
Sure. Sure.
including you, Luke. So right, technically including you. Last
Yeah,
August, right? Last August, you pulled it off.
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
a great show. So a great drawing show. Anyway, so there's one comment by John. Oh wow, do I want to try that last name? Sudar Casa. The character in every painting is very interesting avatar for the audience. Your eye is immediately drawn to them, and you tend to explore the painting from their perspective. Pretty good. And then there's a lot of uh, oh yeah, actually you're reading this, Maggie. I just
Yeah.
realized it looks like there's some mint gangs or mint gang people here. Some of
Yeah,
Maggie's people. So
hello.
yeah. Anyway, that's very cool. So can you talk about like I guess, I mean, how did you're an illustration person who's like I think I would say it seems to me anyway that you've had nonstop work since you graduated art center, and it's already been a few years, and then the COVID year comes. How did you like? How was your illustration work go during this whole time? Like, did you still get work, or did that slow down, or how did that change?
So I wouldn't say it's nonstop work. There's definitely months or maybe weeks that go by where no work comes in. And I get a little nervous, but it's okay. I know it's like the lifestyle of a freelancer. But then when COVID hit, there's definitely it just like all stopped
Oh wow,
for
Mm,
like few
yeah.
months. And I was very nervous.
mm,
But fortunately it like picked up. I think companies start to realize like, oh, okay, like this is how we're gonna adapt to this situation. And then it felt like it just went back to normal almost work wise.
mhm.
Because I already work from home and I always have worked with clients through like emailing. So I felt like it just took a few months for people to adjust, at least
Mm.
for my work.
What kind of illustration work are you usually doing?
I do editorial, so for like magazines or newspapers,
Mhm.
sometimes publications, so like book stuff.
Mm.
And then I just like do some random things. Like I've done like t-shirts for companies. I recently did like a tote bag. We were going to do a t-shirt, but they were like, "Oh, we did t-shirt last year. Let's do like a tote bag this year." What else? Oh, I've done a mural once, but not physically paint one. It's like we just I made the art and then we worked with install like printers and like someone to install the mural.
Hmm.
Where was that at?
So the mural's in Las Vegas at
Oh, the restaurant.
the Major
Gotcha.
Domo one.
Wow, David Chiang restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh,
I still
very
need to go
cool. You haven't
one
seen
day.
it yet.
Yeah, because it opened right before the pandemic.
Oh wow.
Like literally like
Yeah.
2-3 months before the pandemic.
Nice.
And I know you also did some of the stuff you made. I mean, I guess it's not considered work, but it was illustration T-shirts. You mentioned shirts. You did a couple that were like charitable ones. Can you talk about that, and like why you decided which charity to do it to, or which group, orgs, and stuff like that? I know you did 2 at least, maybe more.
Yeah, so I did 3 total. 2 of them were for Black Lives Matter, and this most recent one was for AAPI. So the first 2, right, because there was just so much happening in the news, and I felt like I really wanted to help out in some way, but like as an artist, I was like, I don't know what I could do, and I was like, oh wait, like I can make T-shirts, and I found this like people were using this website called Bonfire, and that you can just upload your shirts, they'll print it for you, do it. Basically, they'll do everything for you, and then all the profits will go straight to the organization. So I was like, oh, this is like perfect.
Is that thing? Can you pick like where you want it to go?
So you choose your foundations or
Wow.
the charity, sorry, charities. Yeah. So
And
I would research, I would look at other people, like what foundations or organizations that they found, and just go from there.
So can anyone do that, or is that like something that you work out with them first, or can you just go and pick like March of Dimes and then you upload a graphic like tonight and just does it just happen, or is it like something that they schedule with you and make sure they vet your design and stuff like that? Because what if your design is like offensive to somebody, and then I wasn't sure like how that works.
That's a good question, but no, it just you can start right away. I don't think there's any approval process.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, oh my goodness, I didn't think of that. What if someone makes
I'm just saying is that for artists out there, is just like how do you get like if you wanted to do that, and this is like the most inexpensive way because you're actually not physically doing the work. Like they're fulfilling orders too. So Bonfire. Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that was a one-on-one thing, but it looks so. Artists out there, if you want to do something charitable, you could check out Bonfire and donate a design, I guess, to wherever you want. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Because then you kind of can just walk away from it right then, right? You can be like, I did my part. Like run the deals with it, right? Sell 1 million, go ahead, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a cool platform. Yeah. I was really glad I found it.
A question came in. I wanted to go back to it. Sorry about that, Luke and Maggie. Sorry for interrupting. But John asks again, I'm curious whether the person in the paintings is painted first and then the world around them, or whether they're placed into the space post the world building.
So it's definitely the latter. I paint the piece first, and then the figure is worked out afterwards.
Interesting.
Like I'll have a few places in mind while I'm painting, and then as the painting starts to unfold, or I'll like realize like, okay, this will be a really good focal point.
So okay, now this kind of begs the question: do you work like do you go directly paint onto medium or onto the onto canvas, or do you sketch all these ideas out first?
So some of them are just straight to like canvas. So I'll just sketch it out on the paper and just start painting on it. And then, and then others I'll have like a little thumbnail chicken scratch idea to get the composition right, and then draw it onto the paper or canvas. Well, so not a perfect process.
No, I mean, art rarely has one, right? So going back a little bit, where we're talking about like internet platforms and stuff. One of the things that I didn't know about you, but we had discussed for a little bit before we started the stream, was the fact that you apparently are a streamer.
Yeah.
Do you stream your artwork or like what like and what platform what service do you use for your streaming? Are you a Twitch streamer or you
So
know?
I don't even know if I can call myself really a streamer because I stream maybe twice a month.
I thought it was more than that, but okay, twice a
It
month.
used to be more than
Right.
that. Like when I started, it was like like 5 days a week, and I was like, "Whoa, that's way too
Whoa.
much." And then I
Wow.
changed it to 3 days a week, and then I think I might have changed it to 2 days a week. It's a process, a learning process or learning curve. But yeah, so I stream on Twitch, and then originally started with like just streaming. Okay, so 2 years I started. I started 2 years ago, and I just played like League of Legends on stream just to see like the platform what it is. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just playing League of Legends. And then I guess fast forward 2 years later, I was like, okay, I'll start drawing on stream. And then more recently, I realized like I don't really want to stream this often. I'll just stream when I feel like it, like or if I'm in the right mindset. So I do like a bunch of random streams. Like I'll like make dumplings on stream.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like I'll fold dumplings. Yeah, like I'll make the mix and I'll fold them.
Wow.
Sometimes it's just chatting, just like chatting with the chat.
Right, right.
And then yeah, just drawing too.
Did
or
you
I'm playing
find that-
games.
Yeah. Well, which way you moved to a Valorant? Is that what you're playing?
Yeah, I was playing Valorant for a little while, and then I couldn't do that anymore. So maybe occasionally some League of Legends on Twitch. I feel like that's just like the easiest one to stream.
Why is it the easiest one to stream? I have no idea.
I think the toxicity is too much when it comes to Valorant because I'm a female, and then so sometimes I'll talk in chat and people are like, "Oh, it's a girl," and then it's like I don't want that on my Twitch, and I don't want my chat to be hearing these things. It's just, and then I just get very uncomfortable too. So I don't want to be in that state of mind where it's just like, oh my god, here we go.
Is art better then, or doing your drawing? Is that like a whole different vibe?
It's different, yeah. It's a lot more calm. It's fun. So if I do games, it'll be like a more chill game. Even though League is not that chill, but I feel like I don't have to worry about a lot of things.
But did you find that Twitch works for an artist? Like, is that a good thing to be doing, or did it feel like you're progressing and getting somewhere by streaming your drawings?
No, but I feel like it made me be better at talking. Like to an audience. I don't feel as scared. Like for the gallery show, I wasn't as nervous to talk to people.
That's what making tea was kind of like a barrier to a little bit, right?
Definitely.
That was kind of purposely so. I was like, oh, you'll be more comfortable if you're making tea for people, and that kind of fits on theme, right? It's all very, very unified. So I was like, oh, I know that would help, but
yeah, that definitely helped a lot.
Well, it's something to do if you can always, I don't know, it's a show too, right?
Yeah.
People are like seeing this matcha mix in, and it's like, woo, it's like a magic trick, but it's not, right? But it sort of is. It's like watching a very opaque green matcha just spinning right into some orange colored, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was very fun. I'm really glad that you brought that idea up.
I drank about 5 cups. So
you did.
It was so good.
I'm very thankful. Thank you.
It's so good. Anyways,
well, let's talk about that. Like, how did you get into like this tea mixology thing?
So I already started like making lattes at home for fun, and then I'll occasionally like post it on my Instagram stories. People were like, oh my gosh, like this is so nice, this is so relaxing. And then someone else messaged me saying like, you should make a McMilk tea account. And I thought it was like the funniest thing. I was like, wait, that's so genius. Because it's just like a spin on my original username, McMinty, but with a milk. And then from there, I don't know, I just got into it. It was really fun. I started getting like inspiration like for making art, right? But instead it's like cooking. So like I'll see like things at the supermarket and I'm like, oh, that'll be really cool to make into a drink and see where I can take it.
What are some of the more unusual things, creations, if you have any?
I guess the weirdest one is I mixed Calpico and matcha.
Kind of makes sense.
It makes sense, right? But it also sounds weird.
It was
I'm
good.
actually surprised there isn't a matcha calpico. You know, for
Yeah.
those of you guys who may not know, calpico is a pretty famous Japanese beverage.
Is it
You can,
is it supposed to be yogurt flavored? I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be, but
I think it's I think I'm imagine I've never had a Yakult before, which is another like yogurt
yeah.
Ooh.
beverage, but
Ooh,
like
it's good.
it's I
It's
imagine it
good.
tastes somewhat similar, or it's in the
It's a little.
same, you know,
Is it in the same ballpark? What do you think? Is Yakult and
calpico.
is that related? Like not even a little? Because I'm not. I mean, I'm comparing color right now, so
I feel like
I'm
the
not sure
aspect
if
that's like kind of milky makes it related,
yeah.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
flavor wise,
Yakult must be
definitely
a little
Yoko
more
is
sour, right? Because it's
right,
an actual fermented product.
right, because
Yeah.
it's like we know that as like the yogurt drink,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then Calpico, I don't really know what it is, but it just tastes so good.
Is it like? I mean, does Calipico have some kind of trace of? Is it like grapefruit, or is there some kind of a citrus to it, even a little bit?
Right, there's like a slight like
Right?
tangy taste to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure.
I
I'm
don't
trying to
know.
break down Calipico, everybody.
Calpico.
Interesting.
I know.
I just kind of assumed like, that like it has some kind of connection to that like fermented dairy
Yeah.
kind of like world.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but like combining Calpico to matcha actually does make sense. I'm surprised there's not a matcha Calpico that's available.
I'm glad you said that because when I posted it, I was like, oh my gosh, people are gonna think I'm weird. Because I have a friend who was like, you can't keep adding matcha to every drink, and I'm like, why not?
Wow.
I thought that the combination of matcha to was the mango, or that we tell us about the beverage that you brought to Giant Robot for your opening.
All right, so I made a homemade mango syrup, and then we did it. We mixed it with sparkling water and either matcha or black tea.
Mm.
So it's like a sparkling matcha mango or a sparkling black tea with mango.
So homemade, like you actually like bought mangoes, de-seeded and skinned them, pulverized them, kind of cooked them up a little bit with a little bit of sugar and water, and strained it and created a syrup.
Right.
And a big,
It was
like a
10
gallon.
mangoes total.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I have a
and
picture.
so, like, are you going through like that entire process
Can you
for
see
a
that?
majority of your drinks?
Okay, not at this scale. I only made this much syrup for the show, but generally it's like I make a small amount that lasts a week for
Wow,
myself.
Yeah.
wow, like
So it's just as much effort sometimes, but at a smaller scale. But it's fun because I feel like it's creative.
yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely kind of consider the culinary arts to be an art.
Right.
Yeah. So from knowing Maggie for like a little while, I without making it any. I mean, I'm just gonna break it down simply.
Just say
You do
it.
a lot. You do a lot of cute things, right? Well, or I mean, they're kind of like aesthetically cute or aesthetically pretty
Mhm.
stuff. Things you eat, at least things that you show on your stories. I'm always like, oh, that looks really cute or really nice or really pretty or really, like the food looks nice. The drinks look really nice. It's all this is like curated pretty well because I know that they look good. There's nice backgrounds. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not like me in front of a trash can going, "Hey, look at my tea," right? And there's a trash can in the background. Like that's me going on Instagram. Look at this.
Very curated.
Yeah, no, very nicely done. So, what I was kind of getting at, kind of, is that you do all these kind of cool things. You stream a little bit of video games, art. You do illustration. You make T-shirts sometimes. You do paintings. You make dumplings on stream. All this gets kind of like, I don't know how you call it, collected in a weird way, and you have like, I don't know if is that related to your you have like a specific Discord. Is this related to all that? Like
I
this,
do not think so, but
Oh, okay. I
I
wasn't
think
sure
it's
if it
just
all kind of like I wasn't sure if it all is turning into like a community at the same time. Is where I'm getting at with it.
I think the community is definitely it's more from art and gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
I'm
least
tempted to
in
ask
terms of
now,
Discord.
how old are you?
I am 28.
Okay. Yeah, that so like
Youngster.
I'm just because like like I think like people that are maybe a generation older don't usually like combine like all those different lifestyle elements under the singular umbrella of the self. Like
Oh,
I
that would probably be this Mint Gang thing that people are talking about on YouTube. There's this Mint Gang thing. People are
Mint
saying,
gang.
yeah,
Tell us
people are
about the
calling it
mint gang.
The
Mint
Mint
Gang,
Gang,
Mint
oh my
Tea,
gosh.
Mint Gang. Yeah, so I'm trying to get at is that what's going on here?
Okay,
Is there
this
like
is-
I think you have you have a following, a little bit of an audience.
Mhm. So this definitely comes from my Discord or my Twitch. So there's like a little saying that I say whenever someone follows me. And it came from a collective of people saying like things in my chat saying like, oh my gosh, like you should call it this or you should call it this. So I guess I should give you the spiel, which is
Yes,
so
please.
Tell it, please.
it's so embarrassing. Okay, so it's like usually be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the follow. And then be like, welcome to the Mint team, aka the community, or as Nate likes to call it, the established mint. And then they're like, who's Nate? And it's like, don't worry about it. So Nate's a friend of mine who's also a streamer.
Oh, so wait, these are like dad jokes.
Yeah,
What's going on
basically.
here?
Essentially.
These are dad jokes.
Yeah, so my Discord is all mint related puns.
Wow.
Or there's a lot of
See, it's definitely so what I was getting at too is it's kind of evident there's a community based on maybe some things that Maggie are doing, or that you're doing. So it's kind of interesting or kind of cool. So
That's very
kind of thought it was
interesting.
awesome.
It's because it's I think you're probably one of the younger artists that we've featured on the show that I can recollect. And it's such a as a younger person, you're the way you're employing the technology, the available technology, and using it to promote your own work and your interests are like several levels above like I think both Eric and myself. Though Eric does have his own Discord. I don't know how active it is anymore.
It's pretty active.
I just don't get the notifications anymore. I probably turned it off.
no,
it is oftentimes it's lit. As said,
lit.
it is very lit.
Yeah. And then
but part of that is again like same thing as me. It's just a little bit of a community based on maybe some similar interests and not. So
right.
And then there's a the thing that lives beyond you that can keep going when you're not there. You know what I mean? Sort of like that.
Right.
And maybe it's supportive of each other when I can't like support everybody, but then they could be supportive of each other. So I think that's kind of what a Discord can kind of be like.
Right.
Yeah.
And but like now I'm tempted to ask, do you TikTok?
I do not. But I do own TikTok, or I do have 2 accounts on TikTok. But I do not TikTok in the way we think of TikTok. Does that make sense? Like I don't dance, I don't sing, I don't do like the trendy things.
There's a lot of weird things on TikTok. Like my TikTok streams are all like very little dancing, lots of weird shit.
Which is great. Yeah.
So you do post. Yeah. So how can people find you on TikTok then?
Same usernames. I gotta keep that brand, the simplicity. Yeah, McMinty and McMilties.
Wait, so what is your TikTok like? What does your feed look like? Because I unfortunately I've always spoke to guys about TikTok. I don't think I've ever spoken to a girl. Like guys, at least for me, all of a sudden it's like informative news, booty video shows up, and I'm like, okay, like I'm not quick swipe, right? Get away from that one for a quick. If someone depends who's looking at it,
right?
But like, what does a female like? What do you see on yours? I'm just curious. Like, is it dancing stuff, or are you like? Because I don't get any dancing stuff. It's all weeded out.
Unfortunately, I literally just go on to upload and I close the app.
Oh, you don't look at things.
But when you open it right away, sometimes it'll play a video. Sure. And mine is always like how to grow your TikTok or how to go viral on TikTok. I'm like, I don't.
Oh wow.
So I don't. I
Okay.
know what you're talking about, but I unfortunately don't interact with the app in the
Wow.
way.
Oh, okay. So then yours will be really raw, and it'll probably be a lot of dancing stuff and whatever.
Right. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the For You
Because
page, I guess
yeah,
it's called.
I've hit not interested on so many things that there's like a more curated stream a little bit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
do that, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You just push when that video comes up and you hate it. Just push down on it. It says there'll be a little mini window and you could hit not interested.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I was just like, oh, I
Wait. Say again. Say
no, like when a video's playing and you hate it, just push on the video right in the middle, and a little mini choices will come up, and you could choose not interested.
Oh, interesting.
So no other ones. Well, less of those will show up.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's why I don't get any dancing ones, and no hardly any booty girl ones. Those are mostly weeded out.
I don't get
Right.
enough booty girls.
There is a never-ending supply on TikTok. Never ending. It's like there's probably like a million. But
Oh
I think
no.
for me to have like informative things like, how to take care of plants, bonsai dude, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's like a lot of rad things, but it's
I
filled
love
with
the
a lot of crap.
iPhone hacks one. Like, like how to
Oh.
record music, in the background of your like video.
They have that.
Yeah,
They have those.
that's where I learned that. Like that was great. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's
Hold
as dumb as
swipe
it is. But
right.
do you find that TikTok actually helps your artwork in any way, or get followers, or are you getting any kind of feedback from TikTok, or is it like a black hole where you're just posting and you don't even check?
When I did post on it, it did bring quite a few people to my Instagram, but I haven't posted for a very long time because it's a pain. Oh yeah, it's a pain to like film yourself painting. Have you
That's
tried
why
it,
I don't
Luke?
do it at all.
That's what I'm saying. It's a pain, right? It's like it's the camera's in the way. You're trying to do something. It's
People are messaging you. You feel obligated to respond to, like, people are taking the time to actually type something, for you to read, and you're just like, oh God, I can't. I need to focus on the work.
on the painting, exactly. I'm like focused more on like how am I filming this and how am I not going to look awkward or feel awkward while painting this one line to get the right shot for this TikTok or this video.
The
So,
aesthetics matter for Maggie, whereas maybe not me. I don't know.
yeah,
about
like
you,
sometimes I would like have to do like weird maneuvers just to make this one line work, but it looks natural in the shot, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just want to paint.
Right. No, I've thought many times, like, like just because I want to, like everybody else who's on social media, like we're all a little bit vain about the numbers, and so we want more, and like how do you get more by engaging with the platform, right?
Right.
And it's like, but how do we engage with the platform? And so, like, obviously, like thinking about live streaming, thinking about whatever is just it's BMO. Sorry for cutting out there. There was a BMO plush attached to Maggie's microphone stand. For those of you who are listening to the non-video version of the podcast. But I think that, like, but then as soon as I try to start thinking about the logistics of actually like making things work, while I work, it's just either daunting or it just seems pointless. Like, I don't know about, like, I'm curious about, like, like your process, like when you're painting, do you like I take breaks between steps all the time just to wait for the paint to dry, and that's just and waiting for paint to dry is not conducive to a interesting live stream.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, I love taking breaks between because I think like ideas come while each step is sitting in the background, waiting to dry.
right. Oh, absolutely. I feel like part of one of the things that helps with, like, quote unquote writer's block is the act of, just going through the motions of working on something that you are already working on. and and it's somewhere in the middle of all of that, like new ideas will kind of come to you, like maybe how to improve on something, or what would be the sequel to, or a fantastic complement to what you're working on now. Like actually that's one of the things that I like was interesting about your show, is this: there is a lot of uniformity across your show. You did 4 paintings, apparently representing seasons, for George Koh, who was last week's guest. George was very excited about the project that you guys worked on together, and I was wondering whether or not you could be able to elaborate on that.
So I forget who reached out to who first, but I just remember he was like, would you be down to collaborate? And I was like, yo, I'm so down. Like, I wouldn't know what the process would be like. How does an artist collaborate with a pianist, and like how would that influence each other? So we just did it in a way, like a straightforward way. It would be like, he sends me, like, I guess they call it sketches, which is just like little things, ideas, or little tunes that he has in his mind for each piece he wants to create. And then from there, I like sketched out some ideas. I'm like, oh, I think it'd be cool to do this. And then from there, he like built off on that. And it's just kind of like back and forth, back and forth. And then, I created this collaboration, but I think it's really cool.
He ended up performing during your opening.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Super nice. I was like, wow, this is really fancy now. Live music.
So, those piano music and tea.
And there's tea.
Yeah.
What an opening.
So I think there's you gotta go full installation. You got to go full installation.
I know, right?
there's a EP I think he released, right? A 10-inch record that's got your art on it.
Yeah, so it's like a limited edition.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's great. So, well, like, the reason why I instantly kind of associated it as a seasonal thing was simply because of the colors that you chose for each of the pieces. Each of those colors kind of are, like, I guess with people who are used to working in visual communication, indicative of a particular season: greens, blues. Greens for spring, blues for winter, oranges for fall, and like yellows or reds for summer. But I think I noticed that you also use different kinds of horticulture. Is it horticulture? Horticulture represent for each of those seasons, and I was wondering whether or not you could talk about like how you choose the particular kinds of plants and fruits. Is it just a season thing? Like, oh, it's freaking winter, oranges. Oranges are typically a winter season fruit. But like, what was part of that process?
Because I feel like this comes a lot from being a editorial illustrator. So I'm always thinking like, how do I tell this story without literally writing it on the page?
Sure.
So of course winter will be blue, and then I had like what looks like maybe like a little bit snow falling, and actually the whole thing is all peaches. So the EP is called Under the Peach Tree. So I wanted to show the journey of this environment around the tree. All of them do have the peaches, but I know peaches are not in season all year long, so some of them are a little more hidden. But for like spring, it'll be like covered in flowers, right? Because that's what we know, flowers bloom. And also like where I live, there's like so many beautiful like flower bearing trees. So I'm really inspired by that. And then summer, of course, it's like the more yellows and greens come out, and there's less flowers, but then the fruits start to bloom. And then fall is just more focused on the leaves. So it's very much that editorial kind of mind.
So wait, where did that come from? Like, if I, you do so much, well, I think you do a lot of illustration work, but is that something that, that's something they don't teach in school, right? How you're supposed to interpret a written word and turn it into art?
So the college I went to, I actually had a class for it, but I never took it. wasn't very popular, so it was very hard to get. But yeah, it took time for me to like learn it, because during school I knew like this is gonna be a really hard industry to get into. So I just started emailing right away when I had that realization. So during school I was like reaching out to publications, like saying like, could I work for you? Do you have work for me? Like, I just please, like, yeah. So I learned it just through working.
And now work kind of just piles upon work, right? Like, are you still sending out postcards? Like, doing that that old school thing?
You have management, right? Do you have a manager who?
I do have an agent.
Agent, yes, that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had an agent, which is the reason why that word never came.
Yeah, but I did have an agent from the start. It's funny because I signed with the agent, I think it was, I forget, 2018 is when I signed with the agent. But at the same exact time, I signed to a full-time job at a studio. So I signed two things at one year.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So you also have, you're working at a studio, and you also have an agent, and you're creating artwork for shows like Giant Robot, and you're freaking,
but you're back to freelance.
Curating a freaking a Discord, with all your life stuff, and you're like, doing like all this other stuff. That's it's a lot of work.
It was a lot, yeah. But Discord, fortunately, when I built it 2 years ago, I didn't have anything planned for it. It's only recently have I built it up more. But it's nice to have started a while ago, because I already built a foundation for myself. Yeah, the gallery, the full-time job, the agent, it was a lot in 1 year, because I would wake up early in the mornings to do the painting, and then just I'll let it dry, and then I'll do that process every day. Like, I'll paint before I go to work. Like, it would just be like an hour painting before.
You're back to freelance though, right? Right now.
But yeah, I'm back to freelance.
Is that ever going to be a thing, or is getting a job out of the question now?
I don't know. Okay. I say I'm open to it, but I'm also very scared.
I don't know. It's hard. It's like, even for myself, although I have a shop and a gallery, like, I always think, okay, it's still kind of, I feel like it's still a freelancey kind of lifestyle that I have. But
definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels that way to me. Although you guys really can just be in your underwear all day. I actually got to put on clothes and leave, so a little different, but
every freelance life is different.
The store's only open like a couple days a week.
Right now, but I still gotta get up there and go walk in and make sure everything's okay. I actually check in.
Yeah, you could do that in track pants, buddy. You could do that in sweats.
So there are things called joggers that I didn't know about.
Oh, yes. Joggers are my favorite.
Joggers are the best.
So I've only learned what a jogger was last week. I never heard of the word.
Oh no!
It's like, I know what sweatpants are. What's a jogger compared to sweatpants?
It's a sweatpant design with normal pant fabric.
But it like closes at the end.
So like Levi's make joggers, so I could wear 501s that.
It's not denim.
What's it?
Yeah, it's not denim.
It can't be denim. Yeah. Okay.
Because
they look like pants, but they're not pants.
Yeah.
But they're still pants.
But they're still pants.
Yeah, I kind of see. I didn't hear of this until like literally last Thursday. I was like, joggers, and I kept thinking sweatpants. They're not sweatpants.
No, we had this conversation a couple of years ago when we went to Hawaii. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh my gosh, you guys should have found him some joggers.
I know, like all these gift opportunities.
I do not know what joggers are to this day. I don't own a pair of joggers. I don't know what they are. So.
Oh, you need a pair.
Yeah, they're great. They're fun, casual pants,
But not that casual. Not as sweatpants.
So
casual.
Males and females both wear joggers?
Yes. Yeah. I have some joggers.
So you guys have been wearing joggers right in front of me, and I didn't know.
You just thought they were sweatpants.
Yeah, you probably thought they were sweatpants.
Or did I think they were just regular pants? I don't know which direction.
The shape is like a sweatpant, but it's like with nicer fabric.
Is there a zipper?
No.
Some do. I have one with zipper.
Is there belt loops for belts?
String.
Again, it's like every company kind of makes it their own style. So some do.
Is there a drawstring then?
Yeah, there's drawstring.
Mine have drawstrings.
Yeah, I have some with drawstrings, and I have one I only have one that's like a more formal one.
Is there an ankle? Are there elastic at the ankles? Like
Yes.
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 all of them have elastic at the ankles.
Yeah, that makes it a jogger.
Yeah.
So if it didn't have that, it would just be pants.
Yeah.
Well, joggers are pants.
I technically, yeah.
But the question is like, is it a straight cut, a boot cut, a chino?
But do you do athletics in joggers? Because they're called joggers.
Generally, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now I'm getting it. I'm starting to understand.
Right.
I thought joggers meant you go jogging in them.
There
but they're
are
like
athletic
pants.
joggers. You know what I
Now
mean?
there's more than one. Now there's subdivision. So are there like rugged joggers for like, tough guy alphas like me who's gonna go under my '57 Chevy and fix the car? I'm kidding.
Maybe we just don't know the brand.
The jogger for Chads.
Yeah. The bro jogger. I don't think you could be a bro with the word jogger on your bottom half of your body.
But you can.
You can be a bro and be like, I got joggers.
It's like, hey man, I don't give a fuck about anything. I'm wearing what feels comfortable.
But still stylish.
Yeah.
So as Jenna says, all joggers are pants, but not all pants are joggers.
There it is. Jenna knows what's up.
Oh yeah.
And I don't. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. And John mentions this is an amazing point to tune in at. We're talking about joggers.
Man, we need to find you a pair of joggers.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh my gosh.
Maggie can do this. Maggie, I believe, has the sense.
We got it. We got it.
I don't know what a jogger is.
I will send you a link after.
Let me tell you something. They're the best pants to wear when you go to fly.
Yes.
No.
Easily.
Yeah.
If you don't want looking like you're wearing PJs.
Yep. And if they don't have belts, if you don't need to wear a belt with it, you could just they're drawstrings, so you don't need to take a belt off.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of jump in. They're comfy.
Can you sleep in joggers?
I probably wouldn't.
No.
It's nicer fabric, right? It's a little more stiffer fabric.
I'm so confused again.
Maybe it was the athletic joggers.
Cotton soft joggers you could sleep in. Okay. I think I'm getting it, but I'm still a little in the dark. I think I missed this. When did joggers start? This wasn't around 10 years ago, right? This is a new thing? In the last 5 years or something? Somebody said, I
started picking them up.
I invented the jogger, everybody. It's Bill Gates or something.
I think I accidentally picked up a pair of joggers maybe about 7 years ago, thinking that they were sweatpants. Because I over mail order, and then I got them, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll just wear them. I don't have to put a belt on."
Okay.
So.
Well, okay. Sorry about this. This
Eric,
is a really weird.
You got to go get some joggers.
Really weird diversion. Really sorry. It's not even about art, but it's about joggers.
We're
comfort lifestyle.
It's time to open up that that pants section, on the McMinty Discord.
I know there's a whole category for pants.
Joggers.
Just joggers. Very specific.
Yep. So
I was thinking, sorry about this, we're continuing just for a minute longer, I was thinking maybe people younger, like Maggie's age, wear joggers, but people like my age are like, I've never heard of it, so I don't wear. But then Luke, you just broke that by saying you wear joggers. Then you're closer to my age.
Yep.
You wear joggers, so
yeah.
I'm now really embarrassed because I don't know what joggers are. Don't start looking. You're looking for joggers right now.
I'm looking for my what I have around here.
Anyways, yeah, okay. So I don't know much about it, but I'll catch up to this jogger thing very soon.
GR joggers. Oh my gosh.
Joggers.
I like that.
So that's a jogger. You're showing a jogger.
The drawstring and they're elastic and the
but the elastic is not too small. It doesn't
Well,
bunch up into like a
No,
it's not like weightlifter pants. You know what I'm saying? That bunch up right at your ankle and
no, they're not like track pants or thin kind of whatever materials like these things that I'm wearing because I'm at home.
I got you.
So
some are a little more tight at the bottom.
Yeah, it depends on the producer.
Every company, right? They have designers. They just design to their preference.
Exactly.
All right. So what are you working on right now, Maggie? We're at about a little over an hour already, so it didn't occur to me. Time has flown. But what are you working on now? Aside the next show at GR that you're scheduled for.
Oh, and we mentioned this during the
You're like, yep.
The pop shop. Yeah, I'm working on a scarf series,
Oh, yeah.
some scarves, and I've
Oh,
always
cool.
wanted to do that. So we'll
Is
see
that
how
for?
those are.
Is that just for you or for a certain brand or?
It's work. Yeah, it's like I think they're like a smaller company, but like overseas. So I'm very excited to work with them. They do like small batch, so
That's
it'd be very
great.
cool.
I could see
Yeah.
your work
Yeah.
lending itself really nicely to textiles and to like very like artsy limited edition kind of designer brands and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that, so I'm really excited for that project. Let me see what else. Just doing editorials. I'm working on some new paintings. There's like one behind me.
Ah,
So I'm working on the next series of paintings, slowly but surely.
I
mm.
like how it's just sitting on a canvas, so you can't run away from it.
Yeah, I
Or
can't
it's
remember.
sitting on a pedestal, I guess, or something. So,
Yeah, easel.
easel, that's it. And you can't run away from it. So
Yeah,
it's
I
always
like
gonna
it.
stare at you.
I like having it out because then I can like look at it, see it. Maybe ideas will come to my mind.
Mm.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Nice.
Anything else? I don't think there's anything else.
Any upcoming shows?
Nope.
No.
I've been
Just at GR2 in a little while.
basically I've been turning down like group shows. You know, it's like those big group shows.
Do some if
I
you
just want to
but-
spend more time just on these paintings. I don't want to keep like mass producing, or it feels like I'm mass producing a bunch of small paintings, and I'm not very like proud of,
Right.
Because it just
Oh wow.
I'd rather just spend a lot more time on like one bigger piece than a bunch of small pieces.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Well, Maggie, let people know how we can find you.
So I guess I am McMinty, McMintea, basically on all and most platforms.
You know, I gotta say, like, what was funny was like when I saw like the Mick and McMinty, I was like, Irish. But
That's what
no,
everyone
it's
said.
your initials.
It's my initials, yeah.
It's a trick. So also, is your Discord something people can join, check out, or get vetted to get into? How does that work?
Oh, everyone's free to join. Yeah.
Is it just how do you find it? Is it on your Instagram or something? Like how do they find your
I
Discord?
have it like a link in my. You know that everyone has like a link tree because everyone now has like a million links.
Linktree. That's a new thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have one, but
So there's a Discord invite button right there.
Oh, I'm gonna hit myself.
So that's what that is. So that's that Linktree link is a link to other
more links. It's a link tree. I know.
So I don't know what joggers are, but you didn't know what a link tree is.
I didn't.
Oh,
Shame.
Our brains just kind of focus on different things, Eric Nakamura.
Shame.
That's why it's a that's why one's a robot and one's a bear.
Like
I know what Linktree is. I do not know what joggers are.
You know what Linktree is because you're a robot.
I don't know what fucking joggers are.
And the bear is like, I got honey all on my face. I don't know what a Linktree is.
That's because I'm too busy fucking eating the honey.
And we're joggers.
Awesome.
Cool. Chuck 1 for Luke on joggers. Chuck 1 for Linktree to Eric.
And then, ironically, Maggie actually is all ahead of us by many points. So,
well, we expect her to be ahead of us. She is 28 years old, Eric.
Yeah, on fire too. Very good.
Exactly.
Anyways, so to see her work, you could see it at giantrobot.com or obviously at McMinty. But thanks for joining us, Maggie.
And at Milk Tea.
At McMilk Tea is.
You know what's funny? It was when I was creating the Instagram post,
Mm-hmm.
I initially like linked the photo to McMilk Tea because like I was trying to remember like what your Instagram was, and I typed the MC part, and then it just like instantly just spit it out McMilk Tea. And I was just like, wow, okay. And I went back and I was like, oh, I got the wrong Instagram. And so
cool. Alrighty.
Alrighty. Maggie, thank you so much for the podcast. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. And
it was a lot of fun.
I think
everybody support Maggie. That's all.
Support Maggie.
Support Maggie.
Support Eric. Come check out the show. I think this is the last week to check out the show.
Probably so. Yes, it is. Come on down.
Come on down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Check it out.
See you guys.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you.